Hi everyone, I'm Bonnie from Make Time to Craft. Today I'm going to show you how to create beautiful handmade Shasta Daisy flowers using this fabulous die from Cheery Lynn Designs. Here are some different flowers that I have made. You can see that by changing the colors, this flower will work well for any holiday or season. If you look at the die, you'll see that there are 2 each of 3 different size petals, which you will cut on each pass through your die cutting machine. This allows you to make several different sizes of the flower. Like on this card I have a large, a medium, and a small. This card I have a large flower, 2 mediums, and a small. I've cut the flower pieces that we're going to need for the flower that we're making today already in the colors that I wanted, and I've selected the sizes that we'll need for this flower. You can leave the flowers as they are here and just begin shaping the petals to assemble your flower, or you can ink the edges, which you see I've done on a couple of the flowers on my samples, or you can even stamp or stipple some or all of the layers of the petals. It really depends on what appeals to you and what you think will work best for the project that you're making the flower for. So for this flower, I've decided that I am going to ink the white petals. And I have an old script stamp, which I'm sure is retired. It's probably from the 1990s. I like this stamp to use to add some texture to a lot of my flower petals, and the nice thing about this is the flower petals are so small that you can't tell it's scripted, it just comes out looking like texture. But if you don't have a background stamp like that you want to use, really all you need is a piece of wax paper, which almost everybody has in their house. I scrunch it up to get it with a little texture. And I'm just going to use that to add some ink to the petals. And I've just selected a lighter blue and a darker blue, which coordinate with the blue petals that are going to be with the flower. So I'm just quickly stamping some random texture on there. That was the lighter. And now just a little of the darker. And you can see how quick and easy and how well that works. There's no need to purchase a stamp for texture when wax paper does a fabulous job. So those guys are done. And let me set it back up in the order I'm going to assemble them in. And now it's time to shape the petals. You can see on the die probably better than on the cut pieces on the video. Each petal has a line down the center which ends up embossing onto the paper, and that's the line that I'm going to use to line up the needle tool. I have a needle tool that I use for this. You really don't have to have this. If you don't have anything like this, even the back of a paintbrush or something like a tiny knitting needle, anything that you have that will work is fine. So what I do is I lay the needle tool over that embossed line, and I'm going to cup each petal up on that line, which gives it a more natural daisy-like look if you do this to all the petals. And you just quickly go around to each petal on each layer until you have them all shaped. And quickly finish this one. Okay, and I have these guys pre-done, so you don't have to watch me shape all of those petals. So now you have all the layers set, the ones that you want inked are inked, and they are all shaped. So the next thing we're going to do is assemble the flower. I start at the bottom And my preferred glue for this is Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Glue. I like this glue because it dries really fast, and they offer a micro tip which allows you to be really precise with where you apply the glue. So I'm going to apply glue just around the center hole of the base layer, which is the dark blue. And we're going to start adding our layers. Now, normally when you offset, you would just go for the center so that the white would be centered between the two dark blue. But I don't want to do that. I consider the 3 big layers, one combined, to be my base. So I want to do this in thirds. So I'm going to barely offset the white next to the dark blue. And I also use my needle tool for this to make sure it's pressed down well. And I'm also lining up that center hole just to keep things in line. And what I'm going for is so that there is enough room left between the white and the dark blue that I can get the medium blue in there. You know, you got a few minutes playtime with this glue, so if it's not quite the way you want it, you can still move it a little bit. And they don't have to be perfect. Flowers are not perfect in nature. Your flower does not have to be perfectly spaced. So then we're going to add another layer of glue around the center and add the medium blue petals, lining up that center hole and trying to get the petal between the royal and the whites, and just press that down. So I think that's pretty good. So we've got the larger petals evenly placed. So next we're going to do another white, and this one, after I glue the center, I'm going to try to offset it a little from the larger. You don't want it right on top of the larger petals because you won't even see it. So if you offset it a little, you'll be able to see both white layers, and it'll leave you a spot for the dark blue again to come in the middle. And again, they don't have to be perfectly spaced. This is a flower. Flowers are not perfect. And this one, since it's the last layer, I'm just going for in between the medium whites and lining up that center hole again. So there you have all the layers together. And the only thing you have left to do now is select what you want for the center of your flower. This is my current favorite doodad. I like the sparkles, which looks really nice with the blue on this one. I would probably go with that one, but there are so many options out there. This would work as well once it's pressed down in there and glued. There's always, you know, half pearls. This is an 8mm half pearl. You know, whatever, again, whatever your preference is. You can see I've done a lot of different things on here. This is actually a half pearl that I glued on, and then when that was dry, I put glue on top of it. And there's a lot of really cool products. This is old. This is Judy Kid Speckles. I don't even think it's available anymore, but I'm sure there's something at Flower Soft probably offers something very similar. Or glitter would work really nice as well. There's brads. I like that brad a lot. So really just look around, look in your stash, especially see what you have that'll work, and go for it. Thanks so much for joining me and learning how to create this fun new flower. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you'll be notified when I add new videos. Happy crafting!